Greetings everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Motorsport Manager. The Timmix here, and it's time to start a new challenge in the Pro level. We're going to be able to unlock the All-Star ones. Won't start them yet, but at least after this challenge we'll be able to see what they are. And it is head start for Hawkins. First up, medium difficulty. For outside underdogs Hawkins GP, the upcoming season could be their finest hour or their road to ruin. Legendary designer Bruce Hawkins has spearheaded the team and plowed most of the team's funds into a new state-of-the-art car. However, a now minuscule budget means that they will need to get most of their wins early in the season. So we've got to win the team's championship again. It's our longest one yet, 16 races. Strap in, we're going to be here a while. We get Nippon Motors Investor available for the Create Team mode, which I will be using for the career. So that's nice to have that option in there. We can't leave the team. And we do get to go back into single-seaters, open-wheel racing on this one. And we also get rid of what I thought was the quite ugly pink of our last challenge with Hammer. I'm definitely not gonna miss that. Okay, and then rules important to this challenge, we do still have the ERS and hybrid power mode. Okay, so here we are with Hawkins, and at first glance our drivers don't look like they're any good, but they actually are. If you take a look at them, Harrison here, low fitness, but good at everything else. Diaz, only decent in fitness and focus, but these are, despite this is just their initial start of season ranking, they're pretty decent. So we've got the best car, but our drivers are only considered average. So lots of really good drivers, and of course this is the WMC. It's the pinnacle of the racing world, so merely having good drivers just gets you in the door. Average headquarters. Staff is below average. And our pit crew is third. No sponsors yet. So, yeah, they're only expecting us to finish 8th, which is kind of amusing. Let's take a look at our mail real quick. And we've got... okay, yeah, Ernie Hecklerock of the GMA wants to know about ERS. We already know about that. Brian Hawkins, the chairman. Hello all, so here we are. After months of hard work and dedication, we're about to start our first season in the WMC. I feel like the stars have aligned for us. We have a great car, fantastic drivers, and an incredible team. We may be small, but we're strong. We have just as good a chance as any at winning that title, so stay focused and keep up the amazing job you've been doing so far. I just got hired. How have I been doing an amazing job? Alright, well, we are Nigel Cook, 49 years old, with strength in finances. And let's take a look at our car, and what jumps out right away here is the chassis. I mean, it's 5 stars across the board. You can see the ridiculous amount of money that we spent on this. Total value over $31 million. Now, we do have the best car, best engine, best acceleration. Brakes are only second. Third on the front wing. Second on the suspension. And fourth on the rear wing. So, really strong in the basics, but our cornering is not the best, but definitely the straightaways, getting out of corners is good. So that's there. You can see the financial situation up here, $45,000, virtually no budget, and we're losing $1.7 million per race. The way they describe this challenge really is accurate. Excuse me. It really is accurate. We've got a strong situation to start out with, but we're going to need to get off to an early lead and sort of hold on to it later on, because we're not going to be able to invest in the car. So the idea is we're going to be stronger than everybody else, maybe even able to dominate early on. But as the championship proceeds, the other car is going to get stronger compared to us because they're going to be improving their parts, and at least at first we're going to have no money to. We may never get any money to. So our HQ, we've got a level 3 factory, we've got a helipad, we've got the test track at level 2, design center level 2, telemetry. So it's pretty solid. You can see our staff is 8th, our design capabilities is 8th. So we're definitely not tearing it up when it comes to that. And if you look at our staff here, Anna Roth, and by the way, these are all on rolling contracts of virtually no money. We can't afford to replace them with anybody better, but they're actually quite good for the money that we're paying them. So that's kind of a weird bit of design of this. But so our designer here, front wing, gearbox, rear wing, all good. Engine and brakes are pretty quality. Suspension, not great. So we're probably not going to spend any time on suspension if we even get any money for it. Our mechanics are, they're definitely above average. They're good, but they're not, you'd want to be 4-star or above to be WMC quality. So, Bonet here, reliability, not good at that. Part fixing, not great there either. And then, we'll just head into this. Romay here doesn't fix things well either, but he's much better at reliability. So he'll be the reliability guy, only a 10 in performance, but, Bonet. So at least they gave us one good performance, one good reliability. Drivers, we've already pretty much looked at them. They are equal status, though. That's worth knowing. But the other thing to look at our team is our markability isn't very good. And that makes sense with we're sort of trying to buy our way into competitiveness. I think the idea is that maybe we can get this up over the course of the year. Finances again, we're short all the way, and we've already got the lowest budget there. So we need to do everything we can to conserve money and just use what we have, more or less. Now, importantly, let's take a look at our rules for this championship. Long practice sessions, long qualifying, but it's only the one set. We don't have the 3 qualifying stages. So I want to be a little more careful about getting us dialed in during practice. We've got about 35 laps on average, which is the longer races. Normal speed pit stops, and we can work on everything at once during the pit stops. Top 10 drivers get points. It was only top 6 last time. It's going to tend to have teams bunch up a little bit more in their points. Endurance type tires. More expensive but fairly high performance tires. We can choose our own tire compounds and have 3 of them to choose from. That's more choice on that than we had last time. And with 15 of them to pick, we basically can use whatever we want. Whereas last time we had to sort of take what was given to us. No refueling. And that's going to definitely change our strategy in terms of how we use the ERS battery system. Driver skill is more important. And yeah, weight stripping is here as well. But no, the refueling ban, honestly, is going to be the one that makes the biggest difference. Because since you can't refuel during the race, choosing the right amount to start with. And as usual, I did do one test race, the first race of this, before, I did this recording starting the new challenge for the LP, because it's just to get my feet wet and make sure I don't embarrass myself. And hoping I can go through this one straight through and not do any restarts. But we shall see how that works. Okay, so the main, really, since we don't want to upgrade anything in the HQ, we don't have the money. Really, the only thing to look at is sort of our car, who's got the parts, where, and then get into this. Get into the first race. So, we've got, we can do 6 parts instead of 4. Definitely going to want to focus on, yep, she's the performance, he's the reliability. Want to keep it there. Want to focus on getting our reliability boosted. So let's see, 84, 82, 81, 80, 82. And then, what's the next lowest? 85? Yeah. And we'll want to move those around some. We're definitely going to focus on that. And then in terms of performance, well, let's see. Actually, you know what? I don't want to just split it up that way. I want to see what's most important for the next track. So, acceleration and low speed corners, gearbox and front wing, and then engine. So let's make sure we're hitting the gearbox, the front wing, and the engine. Let's get those up to the max, and also for performance. And the next lowest is there. Of course, we want to throw everything into reliability until that is maxed, and then we'll throw it all into performance afterwards. Okay, so let's look at, and yeah, they want them to be equal cars here, and they're really not at the moment, at least according to our people here. So let's see about that. Maybe we switch those around. There we go. They both they're both happy with that. They both think their car is better than the other person's. Obviously, they're not both right about that, but you know, just basically trying to keep them both as happy as possible. If we look at our morale here, it's not very good. She's not very happy. He's a little happier, but still. And also, if we take a look at the traits that they've got, you know, selfless, doesn't care about getting the new parts. He's smart and basically a team player. She's a team player, literally. Works hard. Boosts to the mechanic relationship, and then also, you know, wise older driver. So, I mean, there's no issues to be worried about there. They may only be average drivers for this level, but in terms of their attitude, no concerns at all. So let's go ahead and move forward. And rumors about another driver retiring. I don't really care about that. I just want to keep an eye on how we're doing here. Okay, that one's done. So that was the one engine that was, well, it says 100%, but it's actually not. It's not complete. Okay, let's wait until they actually say it's complete then. There we go. Yep, reliability's done. Blah, 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 blah. Another person potentially retiring. Not really relevant to us. Okay, let's boost reliability for the other 6 parts. And we're not going to quite finish it before the race, but we're going to be darn close. Sponsor offer, we'll wait till the race to do that, of course. I don't see any reason not to just carry these on and get what little boost we can out of them. Okay, so Doha, 28 lap races, 3.5 miles long race. Lap record is a little under 2 minutes. It's going to be dry, low speed corners, and Panther is considered to be excellent there. It's a good track for tire wear, and they want wind tunnel too bad. Steinman looking like the team to beat, but Fabio Torino, an ex-driver and former WMC champion, said it'd be no surprise if Diaz walked away with a trophy. An extremely strong driver, and of course she's our driver, so that's nice. And the chairman's concerned about our finances. Well, we're doing everything we can on that, buddy. We're not spending any money. So there's really only so much that we can do there. And more rumors that we don't care about. We've got some sponsor offers to deal with, though. Let's sign whatever we can. Okay, Russ, Jet, and Big Doe. And you can see we've got low-level sponsors because our marketability sucks. Our drivers aren't particularly marketable. Our team isn't. So I'm going to tend to want to do shorter deals so that maybe we can get better ones later in the year. However, in this particular case, we're going to get an extra 100K a race by doing the longer one with RustJet. And we're going to want, you know, we're not going to be using them for the bonus payment a whole lot anyway after we get some other sponsors in. Because we're going to be aiming higher. They're the low-level sponsor that we got in. You know, so this one, 150K a race. It's an extra 75K a race, but this is 100K a race for that. So, in this case, I'm taking the money. Should make the chairman a little happier to get another $1 million in the bank account. Okay, and then we've got our 2 fixed that we pretty much can take or leave. We'll take the 350K a race there, obviously. 200K up front, 200K a race. So that should be 550. That should knock us down quite a bit in terms of how much we're going to lose. And, you know, it's not a lot, that bonus pool, but we'll take what we can get. So, tires. Well, Doha, expected to be 22 degrees, which, as it happens, is just about perfect for medium tires. They actually will cool slightly at that temperature, so be better for them if it was a little bit hotter. But we're definitely not going to want to go any lower than that. I'm just going to stick with the 1 hard and not go any higher than that. And then we'll go with 8 and 6 here, because we're definitely going to want to use softs for qualifying, mediums potentially during the race. We'll have more than enough tires. Don't need to worry about the parts. Everybody's happy with what they've got. So let's get it going in Doha. Alright, let's see what we've got going on here. And basically, no reason to use Taylor here. Get much better feedback ratings from Harrison and Diaz. And let's take a look at our weight stripping. Now, per usual, we want a 70% gap for crucial parts between the red zone and what we end up at, and 60% for the ones that aren't crucial. And we're not going to be able to quite max this out, but we're coming close. And that's very unusual for the first race, but that's again a function of the investment we got from our chairman. Really going to help us get off to a good start. There we are, so 285 on both cars, and we'll get that a little bit higher, probably up to low 300s for most races after we finish maxing out that last bit of reliability. Alright, so first and 8th in practice, you know, most of the cars ahead of Diaz, except for Sharp, all the rest of them had soft tires, so that's not a concern. Hawkins looking on good form in Doha practice. They're impressed with Harrison there. And of course it's interesting being in the WMC where it was all Steinman versus Scuderia Rossini in our earlier practice. Not practice, but the earlier challenge. And now that's a little bit different. Let's take a look at some of our bonuses here. For qualifying, we can get the sweeter spot, which actually doesn't help us that much. We need the sweetest spot one because this is a bigger qualifying bonus, but not enough to really get both brakes and tires into it. So I'm actually going to pass on that. I'm just going to go with the soft tires and the qualifying. And then Diaz, same, soft and qualifying. If we stay, then we could still be fine. And you can see after Chapman, you know, like the top 6, it really starts dropping off pretty big, especially after Sharp. You know, there's significant gaps later on in the field. Harrison takes it from Catano Sports Vasquez. You'd better deliver, Nigel Cook. And Samuel Blanc disappointed. Let's get to the race. And of course, no challenge at all to hit our bonuses here. That's not the point. The point is we need to dominate this race and get off to a good start. So we're going to go with the soft tires and the race trim. And I do plan on using medium tires in the race, but it's not like the 5%. You know, I'd rather have the starting do better at the start anyway. Stick with those same setups. Of course, we're going to go aggressive for the first couple laps, as always. We do need to take a look at our fuel. And purely by guessing, I happen to nail it pretty close. With no refueling, using the ERS system for hybrid power instead of using speed burst, which I find is better, really it's right about at 2/3 of the distance that you needed. And I guess 70% the first time. It's about 2/3. So for 42 laps, we would need 28. Now, I'm going to use more than that. I'm going to use 30 just in case we want to push it a little bit at some points. But we're still going to be, you know, we still want to knock it down that way and use quite a bit less than the allotment. And that can be a little nerve-wracking at the beginning, because I mean, if you run out, you run out. You can't just like take a slow lap and fill up again. You're done. You don't get any more fuel. You're going around on, you know, battery power essentially the rest of the race. Yep, so Harrison on the pole will be looking to stay ahead of Vasquez. His form beneficial to that. Saarinen with an eye problem finishes 4th, but he and Wexler both looking strong form for Scuderia Rossini. They could be an early competitor, of course. Diaz, the worst form of any driver, near the top. And on it goes down. And some drivers using burned up tires, which is just ridiculous with the amount of tires that we have to start with. And then we've got hard tires towards the back of the field. And so here is Harrison ready to get this thing kicked off. Decent start for him and for Diaz, who moves up to 4th right away. Oh my goodness, look at Harrison screwing up the first corner and dropping all the way back to 6th. Ugh. I could have really done without that. Now we're going to have to burn some stuff to get caught up, if we even can. Diaz back to 4th. Moving back up to 3rd, though. Fighting for it now with Nina Holtz between cars there. Getting between Holtz and Wexler. And up in 2nd position, while Harrison is all the way back to 10th and driving like an idiot. Oh, goodness, I've never seen that. Running wide at the very first turn after you won the pole. And now it looks like it's Diaz and Vasquez fighting for the lead after the first lap. Holtz up here, but on hard tires. I just can't imagine going to be able to make that stick. Tires getting warm enough, I'm going to go back to neutral with Diaz, but I don't think I can do that with Harrison. I think I've got to push him all the way to get as many positions as I possibly can before I turn down his tires. There we go, up to 7th. It's getting close. Sixth now. I'm going to have to drop back to conserve, though. Up to 5th. Okay. See if you can hold that while you cool your tire temps. Go conserve here. And yeah, it's time for Diaz to come in. So there's going to be 24 laps that got to get through on mediums, which are rated at 28 to 30. Should be fine there. Park condition is fine. We're not going to surge the battery. It's almost charged anyway. And you can see it's only like a 2-second stop. So it's like in, change tires, leave again. So now that that's set, we'll go on with Harrison. And we'll go up to neutral with his tires for just a bit here. And let's see where Diaz comes out. As Holtz takes the lead. And Diaz comes out just in front of Harrison in 2nd position. Automatically charging that battery. Let's go to charge on Harrison. I want to keep them fairly close together. Go conserve. No need to conserve, though, on Diaz. Should be able to run those at neutral, or even push them a little bit later on if we need to. And Harrison probably can make it around one more lap, but I honestly don't see why I would need to. I'd rather just get him into his mediums. So Diaz is going to try to gradually chase down Holtz, and really has all the time in the world to do that. And Harrison's going to come out behind Vasquez, who is again going to have to pit again later. 3 laps to go. They should have just about the right amount of battery power to make that. Diaz is going to have pretty bad tires the last 2 laps. Harrison should be fine. But that's not really going to matter. Holtz pitting and doing some repairs. Comes out in... well, let's see. Okay. Where does that leave us? Yeah, it's still Kitano. Kitano looking like our top rivals for sure. And it was just a great day for racing. Steady temperatures, perfect for the medium tires. As Diaz moves up, starting to hit some traffic. 2 laps to go. About to enter the red zone on her tires while Harrison is fine. Not going to push either one of them. There's no point in that, risking some sort of crash or something. It's a, you know, was a 4-second gap. Now Harrison closing it up faster. But we're teammates. Diaz has earned the win. Let her have it. Not gonna risk any strangeness. Most important thing is for us to get these top 2 spots. And there's the pass on Moreno. Looks like they'll have the honor of being the only car not to finish on the lead lap. And Harrison now being slowed down a bit by Moreno. Dieter Wexler with the fastest lap right here at the end of the race. That's interesting. There's Harrison getting by, and we're going to finish with just over 2 laps of fuel. Really happy with that. There we are, back up to a 5-second gap. Hawkins wins. Diaz is thrilled. Harrison satisfied. And it pretty much ran out of hybrid right at the very end. So, we did, I mean, obviously, the only points come from the race. There's no bonus points for fastest lap. There's no bonus points for qualifying. It's only about what position you finish in. So, for this competition, we couldn't have done any better. passing the opening hurdle, getting first and second. And Kitano, the only team that we really haven't put down by a huge amount. At 16 points is still a nice lead. Despite not having the greatest of races, Diaz wins the Doha GP. 5 seconds, and then 9 more back to Vasquez. Let's take a look at our rules checks. Nigel Cook definitely happy here. And of course we've got the top 2 spots in the driver challenge as well. Surikov says, I'll be up there with you soon. Hawkins made that look easy. We really did. And despite them saying Diaz was pushed to the limit, not at all. And really small gains for our drivers. We're not expecting anybody to get increased stuff there. But improving the mechanic relationship helps, obviously. And our marketability boosted by over 1%, almost 2%. So if that continues, I mean, that's going to be a big deal for us in terms of our bottom line. To continue to boost that up and gradually get better sponsors later in the year. But still, I mean, it's still probably only going to maybe get up to maybe at most like 50% or so by the end of the year. So we're still not going to be looking at huge deals. We lose almost $1 million, but we overall still managed to stay in the black. And we don't really care about that or that. And so, first race in the books, we passed the opening hurdle. Much more difficult things to come, but a good start in Head Start for Hawkins. So next time we'll head out to Yokohama. Until then, thanks for watching.